Hi everyone, it's Nichol Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a how to create glittery balloons card with the Pretty Pink Posh balloon alphabet stamps and dies. I absolutely love this new stamp set from the February 2022 birthday release from Pretty Pink Posh. This is their 8th birthday and I am so excited to be hopping along with them. There is a giveaway over on Instagram. I will have a link in the description below, so definitely check that out if you would like to be considered to win a great prize from Pretty Pink Posh. So I am going to start by building my background. I did speed this part up a little bit because it took me a minute to get a good blend. I am using regular Distress inks today. I am also using Salvaged Patina, Salty Ocean, and Villainous Potion to create this beautiful background. Now I wanted something really bold that would stand out or have the balloons stand out against it, I guess I should say. And so I'm going to kind of go over each of these sections until I get a seamless blend. And then I'm going to use my favorite new glitter paste from Hero Arts with the Pretty Pink Posh Starry Stencil. I thought this Stars stencil would create the most amazing background. And because this is a translucent glitter paste, it is going to just create beautiful glittery stars in the background, but it's not going to actually cover up any of the ink blending in the background. It just adds an extra layer of texture and interest. I'm using a stencil pal to help kind of scrape and give a beautiful even layer of this glittery paste. I would highly recommend washing everything with some warm water and soap as soon as you're done. Otherwise, that glitter paste dries really fast. Now I have a piece of Bristol smooth cardstock that I'm prepping with the Rabbit Hole Designs powder tool. This is my favorite new powder tool, you guys. And this is the most time-consuming part of the card creation today, and that's because I really wanted to use all of the brand new Distress Glaze embossing powders from Tim Holtz. These are available at Simon Says Stamp right now. They are shipping. These were just released last Saturday, and I'm so excited because it's in a whole rainbow of colors. And the reason I say this is time consuming is I did stamp and emboss each letter balloon individually. Now this is actually KITSCH Flamingo. This color's been out for a while. I incorporated a couple of extra colors, KITSCH Flamingo and Salvaged Patina from my stash were incorporated into the rest of the colors. And I wanted to do this bright rainbow of balloons. Now, the reason I chose to do it this way is because I'm actually going to watercolor each of the balloons with Distress ink and a water brush pen. And I wanted the embossing of the outside of the balloon to match the color that I'm painting. This is a fantastic way to achieve that. I know I talk about this a lot with watercolor, but my favorite watercolor technique is to do kind of what I call faux watercolor, where I emboss an area and add color inside of those lines because the embossing holds the color, holds the liquid into that shape. And so it's really forgiving for those who maybe struggle with watercolor like I do. And this is a very, very simple watercolor too. I'm not like combining colors or anything like that. This is the new picked raspberry color that is next. Then we're going to move on to the letter R. This is going to be Candied Apple, which is another new color. I have linked the colors in the set below as well as the individual colors. If you want to pick some of those up, I love them. These are so beautiful, and I really wanted to show how they look stamped and embossed on the cardstock like this, and then once we add the rest of the color. I really like that the outline of the balloon is not a different color than the color I'm watercoloring it. That was my whole goal with the card today. And even though this is a little bit more time consuming to just stamp each of these individually and add the embossing powder, I think it was really worth it. It ended up turning out even better than I thought that it would. So that is always exciting because sometimes the best laid plans do not come out the way you think. Next, I used the brand new Wild Honey color. The great thing about Wild Honey, and I know Tim said this in his video when he was talking about this color, is it can go yellow and it can go orange. And so it really kind of served both purposes for me today, where I'm using it as the yellow orange. I'm not going to do a yellow balloon and an orange balloon. And instead, we're going to move straight on to green next. And I don't really think we're missing anything with that. I love that about Wild Honey. Wild Honey is actually one of my very favorite distress colors. And so I was really excited to see that there was a distress glaze now with that. This is Twisted Citron, one of my all-time favorite greens. It's a beautiful, bright, limey green. And this is one of the new colors as well. And simply stamp and heat it up. Now, I am stamping each letter using my MISTI, and I will tell you guys why. I chose to do it this way so that I could stamp the letter more than once with my embossing ink. I'm using the Hero Arts embossing and watermark ink today. It is the ink I use probably 99% of the time when I'm doing embossing. I really, really like it. But I like to stamp the image twice. I want to make sure the outline is really nice and crisp. And there, of course, is Salvaged Patina. This is another one that was already in my stash. So the 6 new colors are Picked Raspberry, Candied Apple, Wild Honey, Twisted Citron, Salty Ocean, which you're going to see next, and Villainous Potion, which is the beautiful dark purple. So I used 2 colors from my stash and the other 6 colors from the brand new set. In fact, I had to cut the wrapping paper off all of these, the wrapper, before I used them. But I'm really excited about this. So there's the Salty Ocean. Aren't the colors just gorgeous? I don't know about you guys, but there's just something about rainbow that is so beautiful. Now, I think this would be really fun if you have stamped sentiments to stamp and emboss them with this, something other than a balloon. I'm really excited to try that, and I've got some ideas that I might be doing here soon. That I will be doing soon. So definitely stay tuned for that, for additional ideas using Distress Glaze on your card making projects. Okay, now that we have our balloons all stamped, let's go ahead and heat that last one. Something I love about alphabet balloon stamp images is that you can really spell out anything. Maybe you don't need a birthday card. Maybe you want like a new baby card, or a other kind of celebration card, a retirement card. I mean, I don't know, you guys, the sky is the limit. You could spell out literally anything. You could spell out a child's name or the recipient's name. There's also a stamp set that came with numbers with this release, so you could definitely mix that up and maybe do the recipient's name and the actual age of the recipient. I think that would be really cute. There's just a lot of options available, so I wanted to make mention of that. I'm using an acrylic block as my palette today and a water brush pen, and we are simply going to pick up the color from our palette and lay it down into the balloon letter. This is all of the KITSCH Flamingo right now, and I definitely don't want it to seem too super perfect, so you can see I'm kind of just dotting on some extra color, and then I'm cleaning my block before moving on to the next color, which is going to be our Picked Raspberry. And that's all I'm going to do for this. I'm just going to keep repeating the color, or each color. I just absolutely love that the embossed outline matches the color we're using. You could even mix and match, like if you wanted a little extra dimension to your balloons, maybe you want to put a little Picked Raspberry into the KITSCH Flamingo to deepen and darken some of those areas. Maybe you want to take Candied Apple into the Picked Raspberry. I mean, you could really mix and match. I kept mine pretty simple today because the real magic is going to come when I have these cuties die cut. We're going to add glossy accents and chunky glitter to make them look like those Mylar balloons that are filled with glitter. I know I've talked about this a lot when I do cards that have balloons, that I don't love real balloons. I think it's the scratching sound I don't love. But I love balloon images. They're like one of my all-time favorite things to use for cards. Always have been for years and years, but I don't like real balloons. And so this was really fun to find a fun way to incorporate the glitter, and I always love adding glossy accents to balloon images, but I think the chunky glitter really makes these awesome. Okay, I want to make a note of something right here, and I left it in the video. I don't think that my Salvage Patina ink pad has got a whole lot of color on it. See how it just looks really muddy? I think I picked up some other color from my acrylic block. I was super bummed. So I'm going to clean my acrylic block really well. And I actually grabbed my re-inker. So if you don't want to use your ink pads like this, use your re-inkers. In fact, I had forgotten to get out my Twisted Citron ink pad, and it was in a different place in my craft room. And I thought I was going to get out my Salvaged Patina re-inker anyway. And so I actually got out the Twisted Citron re-inker and I used those. I just put a little drop on my acrylic block and I painted with it. And I love the results, especially for the Salvaged Patina balloon, because it looks gray and muddy right now, which is totally not pretty. But in the finished card, I actually just kind of persevered. I let that dry a little bit, and then I went in and painted it with Salvaged Patina. I am stamping the balloon strings. I tried a couple of things. I ended up stamping them with fog ink. Full transparency, you guys, I don't think you can tell at all once I've die cut the balloon strings. So with the magic of video, I have die cut everything using the coordinating Pretty Pink Posh balloon alphabet dies. And then I've also used the Birthday Wishes dies from Pretty Pink Posh. I'm going to use the word wishes. I die cut that from some Simon Says Stamp silver matte cardstock. And our greeting for our card is going to be Birthday Wishes. Not only is this the greeting, but it's also the embellishment for our card today. To adhere all of our components for the card, I am actually going to pop the balloons up with foam adhesive squares and glue the balloon strings directly to the card base. So I started with the middle letter because we're going to break up the word birthday into birth and then day, and then have wishes go down along the bottom. I also want my letters to not be perfect. I want them to be kind of skewed, much like you would see a balloon bouquet floating. They're all going to be kind of, tilted this way and that. So that was my goal when adhering all of these pieces to my card. And I want them to overlap so you can see like the T overlaps the R a little bit. Let's grab some more foam adhesive. And then we're going to add the I. And I actually messed up a little corner of the R balloon. I don't know if it wasn't dry or what, but luckily we can kind of hide that with our glossy accents and our glitter. Here's our light pink. And then I'm going to want to put the H down a little lower as well, just to make that a little more balanced. I found it easiest to add the balloon strings by holding them with a pair of tweezers as I added the liquid adhesive and then glued that down. And I'm kind of trying to tilt them all more towards the center as I'm applying those balloon strings. I'm using the Scrapbook Adhesives foam adhesive squares. I absolutely love them. Just like I did for the word birth, the word day, I'm going to start in the center with the letter A. That helps balance. If you start in the center anytime you're spelling a word like this, it really just kind of helps center everything so much easier. So that's a little tip for you guys. It's my favorite tip anytime I'm trying to spell out something. And I definitely did not work in order here. We're going to add a couple more. So the balloons are cute. I like that the outline matches the distress color, but they're lacking a little something. And I cannot wait to start adding the glossy accents and the chunky glitter to show you how amazing that's going to look. Now the H and the D were both drying still, and I hadn't sped up the drying. So we're actually going to go ahead and add glossy accents and chunky glitter to the letters I already have on. And then we'll add the 2 remaining balloons and glue down the word wishes. I'm going to put a layer of glossy accents on all my balloons that I already have down here first. I love glossy accents. I don't know about you guys, but it is my favorite. So many great uses for it. And already the balloons look better. I think glossy accents is just the perfect embellishment for balloon images. But now we're going to take some chunky glitter. This happens to be from Lawn Fawn. It is one of my all-time faves. And I definitely like the chunky glitter for this because it works so well. And I'm just going to pick it up between my fingers and kind of sprinkle it on. And immediately look at the difference you get in the balloons. You guys, I was so excited that this worked the way I wanted it to. That mess on my card, I'm just going to take it over to my trash can and tap off any excess, or on a scrap piece of paper, and you can funnel it back into your glitter jar, whatever. And then go ahead and die cut my remaining balloons. So you can see I've added the D and we'll add the H. But look at the difference between the balloons that have glossy accents and then the balloon that doesn't. It makes a world of difference, and it's such an easy little hack. I think that I would be delighted to get a card like this in the mail because the balloons are just so much fun and they're not real. So there is the letter H. Let's add the balloon string for this guy. Gotta lift up my Y just a little bit, just like so. I do like the balloon strings because I really think they add that perfect finishing touch. So let's go ahead and add our glossy accents to the H and the D, add our chunky glitter, and then we'll glue down the word wishes and add a few little finishing touches to complete this easy birthday card. Now, because the background is slightly smaller than an A2 size card base, we're going to have a nice white border all the way around. Oh my goodness, look at that fun glittery balloon background. I love it. For the word wishes, I'm holding them with my tweezers, adding a thin little line of glue all over the back, and then we're going to simply glue that down, whoops, right there over the balloon strings along the bottom. I think it adds a great little touch. I'm going to put an acrylic block on top to help hold that down and hold it flat while the glue is drying. And then I'm going to take an assortment of pretty pink Posh pearls and scatter them around the background. I'm adding little dabs of glue, and then I'm just simply picking them up and popping them in place. These are the 4 newest colors from Pretty Pink Posh. I even used one for the little dot on the eye, and then I just wanted it to kind of look like confetti all over the background. And I started with a few, and then I added even more. As I worked, I just felt like we needed a few more of these little pearls all over. Super sweet, super simple. I hope this has inspired you to maybe try some glossy accents and chunky glitter on your next balloon letter card, or even just regular balloon images card. I know probably most of us have some sort of balloon image in our stash. It is a really fun technique. I would love to see it if you do create a card like that, so definitely tag me over on social. I'm going to add a few more pearls, and that is going to be it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this birthday themed card featuring brand new products from the Pretty Pink Posh February 2022 birthday anniversary release. The supplies I used to create my card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. If you would like to become a member of Patreon, please click the link in the description down below. We would love to have you over there. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. Click that like button and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new card making video. Here is another video featuring Pretty Pink Posh that you might be interested in. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.